Apologies for the late start, everybody. Um, it's a pretty solemn subject that we're gonna tackle today. Hopefully, we can find some other subjects later on to bring a little bit of levity. But yeah, this was definitely a subject that I thought needed to be addressed, Cap.
Yeah, pretty sad, man. Especially with a couple occurrences now with this and some young people uh, being hurt or worse. So it's definitely kind of a subject that it's um it's hard to talk about because it, it's so loaded in a way. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
This is a very loaded conversation. But you brought this forth, and we figured it'd be a good conversation.
Yeah, yeah. Um, I hate, I like to avoid being emotional on camera because some people believe that when you're upset about things that are upsetting, it makes you less of a man,
Mm,
apparently. Um, but the more details that keep coming out, man, it makes it hard to keep my composure, to be
mm,
honest with you, Cap. To be real frank. Um, it's very, it's very I don't know how to say it, but it's distressing. It's absolutely distressing
mm.
to see what we're seeing in society just over the last week or so. And it seems like, they say, heart, like these things come in threes.
Mm.
And apparently that's what has happened. And, you think about the first story that came to light that happened in Kansas City. A lot of people want to point to the race thing, right?
Mm.
But when you look at um, when you look at all of these occurrences, I don't feel comfortable saying that we need to run straight to race on this.
Mm. Mm. You expand.
All right, so the incident that got everybody's attention, we'll say, is that of a young man named Ralph Yarl.
Mm.
Okay. Um, Ralph, how do I say this? Ralph, he made the mistake of, he was sent to a house or an address, um, and
You got that.
he got the lane or the street or the avenue or the boulevard.
Yeah, you
He
entered
got the
in the wrong
number
address.
right, and he
Yeah.
got the suffix wrong,
Yeah.
right?
Mm.
Um, Yarl is 16-year-old. And we're going to ignore the racial component to this because I think that we need to have a much wider argument, a much wider discussion, excuse me. But he mistakenly goes to the wrong address to pick up his younger brothers. You're expected as a teen to help out your family if you have siblings, right? Do you have
Mm.
siblings, Cap?
Yeah, I have two sisters. Yep.
Younger or older?
Older.
So you didn't probably have to do too much as far as chores or things to assist for your sisters as much growing up. They probably had to do more for you.
I mean, somewhat. I mean, I'd somewhat. There was other areas where I had to fill the need and the aspect of protection, but as I got
But
older,
that's later on. But I'm
just
talking
later on.
about when they were 16, they were probably picking you up from school or meeting
Yeah.
you somewhere or something like that.
Right.
So, me, I'm the oldest. My sisters are younger. So your sisters are older.
Mm.
And wow, so that's why you're a little bitch. You're the baby. Anyway, So
Fuck off. Look who's talking. Cry harder, bitch. Shout out to you.
you know, my sisters are younger, and so, you know, I would be tasked with, you know, the protection right out of the gate, right?
Mm.
You know, going to pick them up in certain situations, walking into school. I remember this one time, man, and this memory is seared into my brain, dude. You know, my mom, one day you know, I guess my mother was late and she wanted me to go and take my sister to school. This almost never happened.
Mm.
But my mother drilled this into my head in the way that only she could.
Mm.
Do not cross against the light. Do not cross against the light.
Mm.
Like damn near threatening my life, Cap. Do not, you wait until the light turns green.
Mm.
We get 2 blocks from the house, Cap. Me and my sister stop at the light. This other kid on the other side of the street going in the same direction as us.
Mm.
He runs into the street.
Damn.
A van is coming. The kid runs past the van, Cap. He gets past the van, but panics, runs back into the van, Cap, and gets thrown 15 or 20 feet.
Jesus Christ, dude.
Dude, man, I will never forget this. This kid, and he couldn't have been no older than 10, probably younger. And the kid hops up out of the street and runs back to the sidewalk. And the lasting image is him collapsing on a fire hydrant with blood pouring out of him. Me and my sister, when the light turned green, got the fuck out of there, Cap.
Wait, you didn't help him?
My mother scared the crap out of me. And then what happened to that? And I was young. How old was I at the time? I must have been like 14.
That's
at
crazy.
the time, maybe a little younger.
So what, you just ended up getting fucking hit by a car and then thrown and
hit by a van.
Oof.
A panel van.
Oof. Like, was it wooden panel on the side?
No, it was like one of those white vans.
Oh, okay. All right.
And the driver was all fucked up. A bunch of people ran to go help the kid. But I just remember that kid hopping up on adrenaline with blood pouring out of him and just grabbed a fire hydrant. And I grabbed my sister's hand so tight, the light turned green. I got her to school, dude.
Yeah. That's
and it's just a memory that just the one time my mother says, I need you to go take your sister to school. And the exact situation that she told me
played
to
out.
Not mess up on, somebody else messed up on within 2 blocks from the house. And I hope the kid survived.
I hope so
Goodness
too. That's
gracious, man.
That's scary. That's really scary.
So imagine this kid is just doing what his parents told him to do. Go pick up your brothers.
Mm.
He rings the doorbell.
Mm. Mm.
And from the details that are coming out, the man that shot him didn't say a word.
Mm.
Not a single word, Cap. How many times have you fired through your door, Cap, because somebody rang your doorbell?
No, 0. I mean, God, as the pale person on the show, right? It's like, it's a very careful line I gotta play. No, but I don't know, man. It's if you're living in that much fear, install some cameras outside your door so you can get like a perspective if you're that fearful. But to just not answer, not say anything, and just shoot through your door, like that's not really stand your ground law. Like that's not like somebody coming into your space trying to break in, right? the facts that we have is he knocked on the door, and then a little bit later shot through the door. So if that is true and that is indeed what happened, I, like I, I don't know how this is gonna work. He's 84 years old. Throw him in the pen for 5 years until he dies. I don't know.
Yarl, 16, had gone to the wrong address to pick up his siblings around 10 p.m., and he was shot through a glass door after he rang the doorbell, according to a probable cause statement filed by police. Lester told investigators that he had gone to bed when the doorbell rang, and he went to the door armed with a .32 caliber S&W revolver. Lester said he saw a black male he didn't know pulling on the exterior storm door handle and thought his home was being broken into. Lester said he fired twice through the glass door. Then the male ran away, he told police. He used his home phone to dial 911. He said he saw a car in the driveway of his home that he believed belonged to the male, but didn't see anyone inside it. No words were exchanged. Lester said firing his weapon was the last thing he wanted to do, but he was scared to death because of his age and the male's size.
I mean, I might get some flack from here. I can understand where he's coming from, being older, 84 years old, right? Being a little bit intimidated. If I don't know how tall Yarl is, I don't know, but still doesn't excuse the fact that you just shot. Like, you didn't give any warning, right?
That's it, Cap. There it is. You said it.
You didn't give a communication. You're like, hey, get away from the door. I got a gun. Or
that would be enough to get somebody running.
Get off the property, right? You just decided to wall bang through a fucking door and hurt the kid.
Do you know what would have been less damaging, Cap?
What's that?
If he would have simply said, "We don't like your kind around here," that would have done it. That would have done it.
Yeah, I mean, it's just I don't understand it being a gun owner, right? Myself, and having multiple fire. Like, I don't go to my fucking door, peeking like with my hand on the fucking holster, ready to fucking like drop a fucking person. That's just weird. That's crazy. People who break in your home don't ring. Yeah, I mean, exactly. I don't understand. Now I'll push back a bit on that a little bit, because there is actually a scheme now due to these doorbells, with the Ring doorbells, where somebody will like cover up, like ring the doorbell, get you to open, and they'll breach in with guns. That actually does happen.
That did not happen in this case.
No, I'm not saying that's happening, but I'm kind of countering the point. Like, sometimes people will use doorbell to get you like a false sense of security, and then you take advantage of that. I'm not saying that's what happened here, obviously, but I'm just kind of pushing back that that doesn't happen.
Now, let me ask you a question. Do you think that his little brothers would have been in the care of an 84-year-old man?
No.
Okay. So if the man would have said, "Peekaboo, I see you," that kid would have automatically noticed that he's at the wrong address.
Yeah.
Any word uttered by that old ass man would have prevented all of this from happening.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, I'm not defending the actions. There's no excuse for it. The dude.
Let me ask you this:
he shoots through the door with no command. No command. Just on what to say. Right? There's nothing. No conversation, no communication, no warning, and he just lets off a shot. It doesn't like. You shouldn't have a firearm then.
Let me ask you this, Cap. Now, the police were very clear on his statement. And, in my mind, I thought, well, this doesn't really surprise me, because the guy is 84 years old. And he comes from a time where racial bias was more accepted, definitely more than it is now. Right? Do you find it interesting that he left the race out of it? Do you think that he did that intentionally? Or do you think this is an honest mistake by the shooter?
I don't know what's in that person's heart. right? Because I know we're going to go into in the media and like the
Mhm.
media will just kind of dictate, oh, racist, 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 right? And
Right,
maybe
right.
that
And I
could
wanted to
be,
stay away from that
and
if
that could be a
possible.
cause, but I'm also, I just don't like putting words in other people's mouths or putting intentions behind people's actions. Obviously, this guy definitely overreacted and definitely should get some punishment. I'm not sure what, but I think there's also a honest. I think there's honest in his statements that you see a male, probably way bigger than him, right? Taller, young. You're 84 years old. Like you're gonna get smoked in a fight usually, right? Like let's just call it what it is. Generally, especially in America, um, we already have very poor health overall due to myriad of different issues. The elderly, they don't. They're a lot more vulnerable to being attacked, and I don't know. It's not like they're in their youth. So I mean, I can see that somewhat.
Let me ask you a tough question, Cap.
Mm-hmm.
Same size, same age, but the kid is white. Does he shoot first and say nothing later?
Possibly. But the thing is, like, this is why I
Leave
don't
that
like
up to the
getting.
viewer.
I don't like getting into these conversations in that aspect. I don't know this dude's past, right?
I
I
know,
have a
but I
couple.
have to ask the question
No,
because
I
if I
know,
don't, it's incomplete.
I'm just being honest. Like, I don't like putting intentions or words in other people's mouth that they true. Like, I don't know this dude's heart. I don't know what he's about. Now, if it comes out that he's a, local leader of a Klan rally, then we can have a complete conversation about that.
Hmm.
But I mean, there's a good chance that like, and I didn't get shot at, obviously, but when I was going door to door for a youth hockey team, one elderly person was like, "You get away, stop soliciting." Like, older person got
Yeah, when he
intimidated
says
just by
stop
my size.
soliciting, he knew what you were doing.
Yeah.
So if he
So
pulled a gun on you, it would be
yeah.
murder, attempted murder.
I
Like
mean, listen.
I don't want them to ask me for money about their hockey, so I
Yeah.
took away his ability to play hockey. Like, nah,
Yeah.
we're not
I
doing
mean,
that.
I'm just saying that when it kind of comes down to it, is I'm not really sure. I'm not sure. Now, if it's, I just don't know the person. I can't really make that judgment. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? I just don't.
Right.
I don't like to make those type of statements without knowing the person.
Right. I'm just when I ask the question, Cap, I'm really trying to spark your suspicions, right? Because for me, as a black person, and I look at this story, I want to avoid the racial component, but I can't.
I mean, I can respect that, but I think like
I'm always gonna
what do I
wonder, Cap.
believe? I mean, I think there is some racial component there, right? I think I
And
kind
that's
of
what the
have
police
some
chief said.
assumptions,
Right.
but can I say it's a definite 100%? No.
No, I'm not saying that, but I'm just saying like it's a question that needs to be asked.
Yeah.
And I know that some of our viewers are probably asking themselves that same question. You can't avoid it.
Yeah.
It's an unavoidable question.
It's unfortunate that we're kind of at this point, or we've been at this point where I don't know, man. Just no communication. I still can't wrap my head around that. Like no correspondence with the other individual, and you just lit a shot off right through the door. Like what?
Yeah, he shot him twice. Watt
Geez.
says people are too trigger happy and paranoid. And this is really interesting that you would say this, Watt, because I didn't really think that this particular paragraph was relevant until you just said this, Watt. Again, Watt says people are too trigger happy and paranoid. Lester says he lives alone. A police detective wrote in the probable cause statement that he noticed a security system in the home and took the hard drive to preserve any evidence, but later found the equipment had last captured video in June and was no longer functional. So you're that paranoid. You're not checking the security footage. Like, I don't understand. Did you just take some gummy bears out of your shirt?
No, this is the heat pad.
Okay.
Heat pad.
I knew that. I just
dickhead.
I'm trying to bring some levity to this.
I don't know how paranoid this individual is. Now hear me out here. If he's super paranoid, right? Maybe he had this security system installed, but then he's seeing all these data hacks, and he's like, "Oh, well, not here, not today. I'm not gonna have the government. I'm not gonna have the government spy on me. I don't know.
He has a picture of Edward Snowden and a shrine dedicated to Edward Snowden in his house. So the guy says that he was trying the door handle, right?
Mm.
And I don't really quite believe that, to be honest. I don't really quite believe that somebody would ring a doorbell and at 10 o'clock at night try the door handle if they believe that their siblings are there. They're just going to wait. Yarl was interviewed at the hospital the next day and gave a different version of events. According to the probable cause statement, he told the detective that he did not pull on the door and that he was waiting at the door after having rung the bell when a man opened the door holding a firearm. Yarl stated he was immediately shot in the head and fell to the ground. He told police that he was shot again, this time in the arm, and ran, according to the document. Yarl reported to the police he heard a voice say, "Don't come around here."
Mm. Don't come around here again. Don't come around these parts.
Now, Kat. The kid said
was this in Alabama or New York? I'm confused. What?
The kid said that he was shot again, a second time, after he fell to the ground.
You know what those are called? Security round. That's highly illegal. You can't do that. You know that when you are shot, when you shoot, right? First off, it's unjustified in the first place, right? But in self-defense, you can shoot an individual, but you can't then shoot them again while they're already injured, incapacitated. That is actually malice, and you can go to jail for a very long time. People don't understand that. This isn't Call of Duty where you're just like fucking popping off shots.
Yeah, and the dude is in Last Stand.
Yeah, like it's
and you're like, oh shit, he's got on Last Stand. Now I gotta pop him again.
You can't drop security rounds. This isn't. You're not in Iraq. You're not in the Middle East. You're not in a war. It's self-defense. When you have a firearm, you are trying to protect your life. Once you take that threat out of the equation, you can't then just like go in the back of it, put one in the head, and call it a day.
Right.
You know, and I'm just making that very clear as a gun owner myself who's knowledgeable of these laws. People that maybe are getting new into gun ownership, you cannot drop another round in an already wounded person unless they are reaching for a firearm or still trying to get into the fight. Some people make massive mistakes and go into jail for that because they think, oh, well, I was threatened property. Well, if he's already shot and down, bleeding, and not reaching for his gun, you don't have much of a fucking leg to stand on.
Here's something that's very interesting. Even though Thompson said there was a racial element, Lester won't be charged with a hate crime because it would be a lesser degree of felony than what he has been charged with. That blows my mind, Cap.
Doesn't blow mine.
How is a hate crime a lesser felony when every time I've ever heard of a hate crime, it's an enhancement on top of the felony? So it would be blah, blah, blah. They'll say with a hate crime enhancement or as a hate crime.
Well, I don't know their local laws. It could be it could be completely outdated and not updated for years and years and decades, right? That's a possible thing.
Yeah, but hate crimes weren't really a thing until about 20 years ago. Remember we had that guy that dragged a black man behind his pickup truck. That was about like 20, 25 years ago.
But I get what you're saying. What's that?
Yeah, but we didn't have hate crime statutes until around that time that black man was dragged behind that pickup truck. I think that was like very late 1990s or early 2000s.
Was that in the 90s? I thought that was in the 80s.
No. I was born in the 80s. I remember when that man was dragged.
Okay.
I
really don't remember. Truck. I thought that was earlier. So, wow, that's kind of fucking weird.
Nah. That was definitely more recent than that.
Okay.
So yeah, the prosecutor's office says our office has charged the defendant in this case with an A felony, which is 4 classes higher than a hate crime enhancement could take a charge.
Welcome, Daryl. Appreciate you popping in.
This is also why Lester wasn't charged with attempted murder. The charge would be a lower level offense than assault in the first degree, carrying with it. I'm sorry, man. I'm trying to hold my composure. This is really getting to me.
You want me to read it?
Woo! Sorry, Cap. Sorry, viewers.
No,
sorry.
This is also why Lester wasn't charged with attempted murder. Higginbotham said, because the charge would be a lower level of offense than assault in the first degree and carry with a lower range of punishment. Now, that is completely outdated. They got to really change the rule book to be very simple in laws.
Here's what bothers me, Cap. Here's what bothers me, man. I know that whenever somebody wants to trump up a charge against somebody, they find a way.
Yeah.
And the thing that made me so upset, Cap, is that I'm thinking to myself, he shot at this boy, has already taken a bullet to the head.
Yeah.
He fell down on the ground.
Yeah.
And he does not get an attempted murder charge. What is more attempted murder?
Fuck
the fuck, dude. The dude is 84 years old. He's not leaving the prison system. He's not leaving it alive.
No.
I think we understand this. Yeah. And when it goes into the books, it's going to be assault.
Yeah.
And I put myself in the shoes of the boy who's laying there just going to do what his parents told him to do.
Yeah.
And he's being fired upon after already taking a bullet to the head. That bothers me, Cap.
I mean, I'm going to be very honest here, right? Who's to say that the shooter's aim wasn't off and that, yeah, he got him in the arm. But, I mean, if you got him, like, where did you get him in the arm? He could have been probably trying to go for a headshot.
Headshot or center mass.
Body shot, center mass. Yeah. I mean, this
is why, people say the cops should try to shoot them in the leg instead of shooting the kill. And one of the things I've always said is if you're an officer that has to pull your service weapon, you have to aim for center mass, because if you don't and you aim for a limb, you're more likely to miss and then hit somebody else.
Absolutely. Yeah.
So he could have been aiming center mass and then ended up, by the grace of God, if you believe in God, hitting him in the arm instead.
Yeah.
So, dude, it fucking bothers me, man.
I think on a human element, I think on a human element, right? Like, and I'm not trying to sit here and say, on a moral level, this is fucked up. Just a human decency, doing the right thing. This is just fucked up. Like, this person should go to jail. And in my opinion, it's going to be a spicy take. Maybe they should get the treatment of them being on the ground with that person above them with a gun. Just saying, if they want to put the fear of God in someone else, maybe they should experience it firsthand.
But he didn't try to put the fear of God into the kid. He tried to put the kid next to God. That's two totally different things.
Try to have a meet God. Yeah, you're right. But for me, I have no sympathy for the 84-year-old. You'll see, I've already seen some particular media on YouTube try to make a case for this guy being innocent and all this shit. We already know. And I didn't show it to you for a reason.
Yeah.
Listen, if you're for guns like me, that's great. But you also have to acknowledge the fucked up situations like this and realize this is fucking wrong and shouldn't be happening.
Yeah.
Like, come on. Like, enough with the pandering bullshit. It's disgusting for you to try to make an excuse for an old man when
they're just outing themselves, Cap.
Where there was no communication, shoots a shot, and then he tries to do a finishing move on the kid.
Yo, the thing is,
these people, he's a fucking kid. That's the crazy thing.
The thing is, Cap, they don't see a kid. They see another, what, put in the ground, and it's time to cheer. That's what they see, Cap.
Yeah, I mean, some of them, yeah, absolutely. I'm
talking about the ones trying to make the case. Like trying to twist everything to make it where the kid deserved to they're basically trying to say the kid deserved to die because he was shot in the head.
Yeah.
When you shoot somebody in the head, you're not shooting them in the head hoping that they'll survive.
It's miraculous he even survived. I mean, it's miraculous he even survived. Like I don't. It's thank God. I believe in God, and somebody was looking over him that day because that's just absolutely insane.
Yeah, but was he looking over him when he went to the wrong house and be shot at in the first place?
I get what you're saying, dude, but that's a miracle. You get shot in the head. Not many people survive from that.
Yeah, for real. Yeah. Star, can we give a shout out to Star? Star has a son who proposed to his girlfriend and got a yes.
Oh,
And
really?
in 2023, to find a good woman that actually wants to commit, that's a big thing.
Absolutely.
So shout out to Star and Star's family. You are a valued member of this community, and we're very happy that you're here. Sorry, I have a very heavy heart today, so I'm very emotional today, and this shit is fucking exhausting. And then I got to go work with a client after this. I'm probably gonna sleep the rest of the day.
Yeah.
Actually, no, I got another client after that. Star says a woman was shot and killed when her boyfriend drove onto the wrong driveway, way too trigger happy.
We were gonna cover that story too.
So
yeah,
let's get into it. New details emerge in deadly upstate New York shooting of woman in wrong driveway. Oh wow. This hit me right in the feels, man. When a woman's son proposes to a woman, that woman now has a new daughter. That's how did I not even think of that?
That's crazy. That's great.
I've been with Mrs. Evil 17 years. Now 17 years and 19 days. Right?
The exact time fucking table.
We got married on our 5th anniversary. I don't know why I never really thought of myself as a son, a new son. So that's fucking gangsta. And we need a little bit of that positivity in the stream.
Absolutely.
Because man, I feel so much tension in my belly from this. This is emotionally painful to cover, but we're gonna soldier on, man, because we this is, you know, at the risk of looking like a beta male.
Okay, no, stop,
bitch.
Stop.
You know, I'm going to. We're gonna soldier on through this.
But listen, there's one thing I gotta say here, okay? Right? Because I feel like this has to be said. If you get sad over or emotional over a life being either taken away or somebody being horrifically affected for the rest of their life, that child's never going to be the same, right? They could probably possibly even get PTSD from that incident.
Oh,
right?
Yeah, that kid is fucked, man.
Absolutely fucked. But I think we get into, while we like to give male advice, right? Let's also kind of acknowledge some of the toxicity from some of the male space. Oh, you can't show emotion. You can't show this. You got to hide. You got to bottle up. That's why men do a lot of self-forever sleep. That's why men are always depressed. That's why men have a lot of issues and they just bottle up inside. It's fine to get, sad and emotional over certain events that affect you personally. I don't think that is a weakness. You obviously got to kind of deal with it in the right context, in the right spaces. I just don't like that whole narrative. Oh, well, you got sad or emotional because someone got shot and, taken from the earth. Yeah. Someone's life got taken. I think it's okay to be a little bit fucking sad.
Yeah.
So I had to say that. That's just,
yeah. I hear you, Cap, but this is the internet, right? And I have to address this. And man, this blurb under the byline.
That's crazy, man.
The man who fired on 3 vehicles that mistakenly drove up his driveway, killing a young woman, had a reputation as a sour character who did not like visitors. Cap, I have to go low T.
Get a gate.
Dude, I have to go low T on this, man. I'm sorry. Guy, you really should have just turned the gun on yourself. The world doesn't need you. Fuck your driveway. Fuck you.
Yeah.
Fuck you.
Yeah.
One more time, Cap. Fuck you.
Well, my thing is, if you don't like driveways, you can get a fucking gate built at the end of your driveway with a nice little gate with a little locking mechanism so nobody can pull in. Just if you're that concerned about visitors, you can't.
If you're that concerned with visitors, put the rifle in your mouth, close your mouth, and open a new hole in the back of your head.
Yeah. Damn.
You don't like life, dude.
Yeah, man.
You're crazy. 65 years old. You hate existing, but then you're going, dude, The damage that he did to everybody involved.
It's crazy.
Imagine being the boyfriend who made the fateful turn,
and
now your girlfriend is deceased because of some bitch-ass bitch that doesn't even want to live anyway.
Yeah.
That pisses me off, Paul.
Yeah, I mean, you have all the rights to be pissed off. You have some idiot, right? No, some evil fucking human being starts dropping shots on a car that's in a driveway and backing out.
The car was already backing out when he started shooting, Cap.
So dumb. Dude,
just end it.
Yeah.
This is what I talked to you about this before, Cap. Introverts tend to be violence extroverts. Extroverts tend to be violence introverts. They tend to take themselves out.
Yeah. I agree with that.
And it's like, dude, you're not enjoying life. Why take somebody else's life who's enjoying life? Just go.
Yeah. I mean, if you're 65 and that fucking weird, I don't know what to say. I don't know what to say.
Dude doesn't even take care of his land. Fuck off, man.
So
sorry, man. I'm going through it right now. The man who lived on the ridge above this little upstate town had long had a reputation. They used "had" twice in 3 words. That threw me off. A reputation among some residents as a sour character who barked at neighbors' dogs.
Barked?
Scolded a local church and was so averse to unannounced visitors that he had one time used a chain to cordon off his quarter-mile-long driveway. Use the fucking chain, bitch! Again, if you're an 84-year-old man and there's somebody who's 16 standing at your door, should you pull the trigger first or tell them to leave first? He told them to leave after he shot him twice.
Yep.
This guy had a chain, didn't use it.
So that's just on Saturday night, just before 10 p.m., Kaylin Gillis and a group of her friends were traveling in a caravan of 2 cars and a motorcycle that mistakenly drove up that same driveway. They were also looking for a friend's house and were met with deadly gunfire, killing Miss Gillis, age 20. It was warm but overcast and dark. And the 3 vehicles, according to the county sheriff, turned off a highway and up the largely dirt road on which the man, Kevin Monahan, 65, lived, past several other homes. They soon took a right turn into the drive, which is flanked by a tree with 2 worn private property signs warning off trespassers and a small private drive sign. On Tuesday, a nearby resident who declined to give his name because of the sensitivity surrounding the killing and the investigation said he watched the vehicles ascend the steep drive, their lights on, before seeing the motorcycle turn and start to descend. Then he heard a shot, followed by several seconds of silence, and then a second shot rang out, though he and his wife initially believed it might have been fireworks. Oof. So that's crazy. Our neighbor down the hill called and said, "Did you hear gunfire up there?" The resident said, and we said, "Oh, we heard something." He said he immediately called 911, but an indication of how difficult the area is to navigate. Those police officers initially also went up the wrong driveway, so he called 911 again. It's hard to get your bearings unless you're from here.
Do you see why my rage continues to build?
So even the police,
local police, made a mistake. The local police went to the wrong address.
Yeah.
And you're just shooting at any car that is in the vicinity.
It seems like to me that if you don't want anyone up your driveway, have the chains up, have the gate, have a gate. I don't know why that's so difficult. If you are that fucking paranoid of people driving up to your long driveway, I don't know. maybe have fucking ways they don't go up your fucking driveway. That's an idea.
Dude,
maybe
this motherfucker barks at dogs. Why does he have guns? He barks at dogs. I know the whole red flag thing. I get it. Do you really want to live in a community where a human being barks at dogs and also owns guns?
No, I mean, that just seems like somebody that's completely mentally unhinged. I mean, listen, you know my stance on guns. It's a right. I believe, I believe in the Second Amendment, but I mean, we're at a point where I don't believe mentally ill people should have
20 years old, Cap.
I know.
Can you imagine thinking, yo, I met the love of my life. They were high school sweethearts, Cap.
Yeah.
I got lost on a road trip. Can you picture
I would
looking her parents in the eye?
Yeah.
I guarantee you the kid blames himself.
No, 100% is going to blame himself. They go, I shouldn't have turned up this road. This is all my fault. Where it's not his fault. It's the fucking scumbag who did it. And this is one thing I also got to say, right? So I got MSC training, right, for rifles on boats and stuff like that, guns. We have to give warning shots, several warning shots. If we have a pirated vessel coming at us with an ill intent, we have to shoot 50 yards above them across their bow, then 25 feet, then 10 feet, then 6 feet, and then we can engage if they get to a dangerous level, right? And the funniest part is these civilians that have these firearms, right?
And you're talking about pirates, right?
Yeah, I'm talking about pirates. I'm talking about people with actual...
Because pirates are not going to shoot in the air at 50 feet.
No.
They're shooting at you.
Yeah, they're shooting at us. And I think when it kind of comes down to it, that's why it's frustrating me for a gun owner, because I've had a lot of veterans too, that they de-escalate. That is the proper, you don't just go outside your fucking door and start well, I got my fucking sights locked in for 50 yards. I'm just going to start shooting. That's not realistic. That's not we're not in Call of Duty. This isn't Battlefield. This is real life. These are real human beings that have family and loved ones. And if you are that fucking paranoid, do not buy a gun. Do not buy a gun. If you are that scared of the fucking world, do not buy a gun. You should not have one, because you end up opening fire and taking lives because they went down a driveway by mistake. What? That makes no fucking sense. And yes, I'm assuming he was a licensed gun owner.
Yeah, he was in upstate New York. Yeah.
But in New York's got, I know it's not the city. I know it's not as strict as the city, but New York's still got really firm gun laws, right? So, I mean, I can't even really say the gun laws would fix this. This is just a fucking, I hate saying mental health because that's the fucking cop out by everybody.
He barks at dogs, Cap.
Yeah, there's definitely a mental health issue there.
Mr. Monahan was charged with second-degree murder in an attack that the Washington County Sheriff, Jeffrey J. Murphy, that is definitely a sheriff's name, described as unprovoked and unexplained. There was no threat. They were leaving.
Yep.
They were leaving, Cap. He started shooting after. So Blind Bat asked, why didn't he shoot in the air?
Never do that. No, never do that. That's never shoot up in the air.
Because understand that there's a reason why he's asking this question. Because when you shoot into the air, yes, if you shoot at an angle and not straight up, somebody else somewhere can be shot.
Yeah.
The bullet can land on them.
Yep.
But shooting in the air is what people perceive to be a warning shot. He did not want to fire a warning shot.
No, he wanted
to kill somebody.
Yeah. I mean,
his purpose was to kill, and he met his purpose.
I mean, I think with warning shots, I'm not really for warning shots. There's some of them, they can be illegal depending on the state where you are.
Yeah.
But if you shoot in the dirt, just shoot in the dirt. Shoot in the dirt fucking 10 yards away from the actual target if you're going to do that. But, I mean, obviously this guy had I'm assuming he had no communication, just like the other case we covered, right? No warning, just gets out his fucking gun, starts shooting down range, and it's Some of these fucking people, man. Some of these fucking people, these unwell people in the fucking states should not have guns. It's fucking crazy, and it pisses me off because you see it's due to people these insane nut jobs that make gun ownership so difficult because they paint everybody in a fucking bad light. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And for me, most people that pretty much everyone that I've ever met is just responsible. They go to the range, they want to go shoot targets, they want to go hunt, yada yada yada. But then you have these unhinged nut jobs that think they're fucking like they think they're playing war, right? That's what they're essentially doing. They're like playing fucking dress up, pretending they're military fucking operatives, right? Like, oh, I'm gonna fucking go down range, start fucking ripping shots off, and now he killed a fucking young girl that her whole life ahead of him. Boyfriend's traumatized for the rest of his life. He's gonna have to fucking sleep with that shit and try to like, he'll feel guilty his whole life, right? Due to one fucking insane asshole that can't just put a chain up at the end of his driveway if he didn't want people fucking visiting. And that's another thing too. If he didn't maintain proper signage, that's kind of on him. It's all worn out signs, like no fucking, no trespassing, no nothing. Like, I don't know. The guy's a fucking piece of shit and can I hope they bury him under the prison. I have no love lost for that dude. None.
I'm gonna try to find some information for Dan Jensen here. Dan Jensen is always supporting the platform. So if I can
it's so fucking stupid.
if I could find
why own a fucking gun? If
you're
that afraid, I just don't understand, right? Like I have my gun locker over here to the side, right?
Mm-hmm.
I don't show for obvious reasons. I have my gun locker over here. I'm not like at the door. I'm not at the door with my fucking flashlight tactical, like, oh, who's there? Who's there? Like, I'm not scared for my life. Like, if you're that fucking terrified, don't own a gun.
Yeah.
If you are that afraid of your fucking life and you escalate situations, don't own a firearm.
All right, let's answer
ridiculous.
Let's answer Dan's question here. New York Penal Law, Section 125.25, murder in the second degree. If you intentionally or recklessly cause the death of another person, you could face a homicide charge.
Mm-hmm.
There are several different offenses in the New York Criminal Code related to taking the life of another person, including homicide, manslaughter, and murder. Of all the crimes related to homicide, the most serious are murder in the first degree, murder in the second degree, and aggravated murder. Each is a Class A1 felony, meaning that if you are convicted, you could be sentenced to life in prison. Under New York Penal Code Section 125.25, you could be prosecuted for murder in the second degree if you, number one, intentionally caused the death of another person.
Yep.
Number two, recklessly caused the death of another person under conditions that showed that you had a depraved indifference for human life. 3, caused the death of another person during the commission of another crime such as robbery, burglary, arson, sexual assault, or number 4, caused the death of another person under the age of 11 during the commission of a sex crime.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, we're going to focus here on number 2.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, doesn't first degree have to be premeditated?
Premeditated.
Yep. So that's why they can't give them the first.
Right. Okay. You look at 1 and 2 here. We're going to look at 1 and 2. Intentionally cause the death of another person. Right. Now, Blind Bat says, "Why? This is why this is relevant, Cap. Why didn't he just shoot up in the air?" Also, another really important detail is that he did not fire upon them as they were headed up the driveway.
They were headed down.
When they were headed down and out away from the driveway. Notice also how no words were said, Cap.
Yeah.
No words were said. So
I just
Dan wanted to know why second degree murder, not first, and the penal code here in New York makes that clear.
So What also here? I mean, Daryl, I agree with you. People are feeling like they're playing Grand Theft Auto now. It's just it's disgusting. Serial killers kill 10 people and cry when they want to give them death penalty. I mean, yeah, this guy will probably be, I'm innocent. And then Watt said, sad news in California. There were 3 gangsters who opened fire on an SUV and killed a 5-year-old girl. Thought it was the enemy gang.
Yeah, I see that shit happen so
You know,
many
like
times.
the problem is, right? So the gang stuff is a completely different conversation in a lot of respects, right? Because that's like just a toxic culture where people kind of buy into. And there's a lot of factors there in place. But, just overall with these incidents that we're seeing now with gun owners, like just overreacting, like in these last 2 cases, like that's just not acceptable, right? You had a guy shoot through a door and then try to do a security round, right, into a fucking minor. Then you have people driving down the driveway, no threat at all, getting shot at, and one woman killed, or young girl killed, because of some nut job not liking people. And I have to wonder, how did this person, if there's so many red flags in the neighborhood, him barking at dogs, him like being absolutely insane, how did he, like, he's the reason why red flag laws exist. And I'm not really for the red flag laws because I feel like that's a slippery slope.
Yeah,
right?
but how can you fucking argue against them?
In
A
situations like
20-year-old woman
Yeah.
who is going to be somebody's wife,
Yep.
somebody's mother. She's already someone's daughter.
Yep.
She was friends. She actually had friends, Cap. You know how? We know that? She was in a 3-vehicle caravan.
Yeah.
She's a likable person that likes life. But
Yep.
she gets her life taken by somebody who really shouldn't be alive. I'm going to die on that hill, Cap.
I mean, listen.
There are very few people, Cap, that I wish death upon. The guy that killed that young lady, oh my God. I don't care how you get off this planet. I don't care if they lock you in a room with a revolver and 1 bullet and let you do the coup de grace. I need you off the planet, guy. Yeah. I need you to not exist.
Yeah. I mean, take them off the census. But
unfortunately, Cap, I do have a dark side, Cap. And these people are really, really bringing out the worst of me today. These people are bringing out the worst of me today. Cap, when you see this, man, oh my fucking God. Jeez. When you see this, Cap, when you see the details about what happened here.
Get into it.
2 Texas cheerleaders shot after getting into wrong car in parking lot. Police said a man opened fire
cheerleaders
at 4 cheerleaders after their practice. No, it's much worse than that, Cap.
Oh my God.
It gets worse. Look at, dude, I need this guy to merge with the universe. I just need your atoms to return the energy that went into creating you. 2 Texas cheerleaders were shot after one of them said they had mistakenly gotten into the wrong vehicle in a parking lot early Tuesday morning after practice. Elgin Police Department officials said in a statement that a 25-year-old man was arrested for the shootings.
Jesus Christ.
One of the victims was treated and released at the scene. The other was helicoptered to a hospital and is in critical condition. Elgin police said they arrested Pedro Tello Rodriguez Jr., age 25, charged him with deadly conduct of 3rd-degree felony. Heather Roth, a cheerleader with the Woodlands Elite Cheer Company, said on Instagram Live that she and 3 other cheerleaders had completed practice when they went to a carpool lot just after midnight Tuesday. Roth says she got out of her friend's car and opened the door to her car she thought was her own, but a man was in the passenger seat. She said she got out of the car and back into her friend's vehicle. When the man approached their vehicle, Roth rolled down the window to apologize, and the man started shooting. Somebody take him off the planet now. Yeah. Fuck your 3rd-degree felony.
Yeah. That's crazy. So big bad cheerleaders were so scary. He had to get out of his vehicle, approach their car with a gun, and just start lighting them up.
I know that we're supposed to have fair laws and, due process. That nigga needs to die yesterday.
I mean, I'm not wrong. I don't disagree. I think if nice bolt in the back of his head would solve a lot of that problem.
I think Ewell misunderstands. The shooter was from inside the house.
Yeah.
We covered this earlier. The shooter did not say anything to the young man who rang his doorbell. He didn't say anything. He just shot through his own glass door.
That's crazy.
The kid simply made a mistake and rang the wrong doorbell.
So I'll also say that, just to reference that case, it's going to be interesting to see what the police do, like with fingerprinting to like verify the cases, right? Because like if it's, you know what I'm saying, like if he did indeed pull the fucking door, there'd be fingerprints there from the kid. So
yeah. Oh yeah. And the thing is, there's going to be the thing is, you can always tell who's lying.
Yeah.
You can always tell who's lying.
So insanity. I know you got to head out here, but
I'm just, dude. Some of these people. You ever heard of this anime called Death Note?
Yes, I have. I actually watched it.
I really wish that I had a Shinigami sitting on the ceiling of my office and begging me to write these bitch ass niggas' names in that book.
Oh shit. Yeah, man.
One of the few times I wish that anime was real.
Don't blame me. It's unfortunate. I think that
how else can you react to this, Cap?
I mean, well, you'll have some people trying to justify it. I already saw it in the first case with some particular YouTubers trying to paint it in a different light that it wasn't the case. So we'll go there from that. Oh, thank you, Dan Jensen, for the super chat, brother.
Yeah, Dan Jensen is always supporting, man.
Always showing the love.
Always supporting. You're again. I know I say it all the time, Dan, but
legend.
No words. No words. No. As CLA would say, no comment, no question, just a pure love of the game.
Appreciate it.
I'm sick and tired of being sick and tired, Cap. And do we look like idiots to people, Cap, living in this country? But we have Dan Jensen, we have Van Mansom here, we have David Banner, and everybody that's in Canada, right?
Mm-hmm.
They look at us like we're fucking nincompoops for living here.
I mean, I could see it to an extent. I also think that we have a lot of problems in this country. I'm not going to sit here and say we don't, but we also have a huge population base. So I feel like our news is more, a lot of our negativity is shared like globally, right? I don't know, just a lot of fucked up cases. I'm not excusing it. And
I just don't understand why it's necessary. Why is it necessary for people to make simple fucking mistakes and get shot? I don't understand that. I don't get it, Cap. I don't get it.
Yeah, I don't disagree. I think we're at a situation.
The lady left the car and said, "My bad. I'm going to start shooting at girls."
Yeah.
If you run the simulation of that happening in the parking lot, when she opened the door and saw that somebody else is in the car, how much you want to bet the first two words out of her mouth were either oops, sorry, or I'm sorry.
Yeah. I mean,
or my mistake.
Goes without saying.
And you'd respond by getting out of the car and start shooting into the car.
Mm.
Dude, can you just stop existing?
Yeah.
I'm going to start shouting at people like police officers. Stop existing! Stop existing!
Oh, Jesus Christ. Well, I mean, you got to head out. I got to probably head out here too. But
dude, the rage that I feel, man.
I don't know, man.
The rage that I feel. And some of the most awful people on the planet, Cap, some of the most awful people on the planet are still walking around.
Mm.
Healthy as all get out.
Mm.
But you have an honor student going to go pick up his siblings, almost getting his head blown off. Another honor student who is sitting in the passenger seat of a lost vehicle.
Mm.
And the thing is, Cap, I'm going to go there. Cap. I'm going there. How many of these people want to claim that they're Christian? But then when somebody shows up to your house and they're lost and they need help, you start shooting at them.
Okay, listen.
That is really Christ-like, Cap.
Listen. I got to say this.
That's really Christ-like, Cap.
I got to say this. Someone that grew up in a Catholic household, as you know, right?
I went there, Cap.
Some of these Christians, let's just call this. Some of these Christians, I mean, it's personal experience. Some of these Christians use their faith as an excuse to do shitty things because then God will forgive them on Sunday. I mean, I'm sorry. I've seen it firsthand. I knew some people that, like, I'm not going to say particular names. I'm not going to dox someone, but I knew somebody that was getting beat, right, by their husband. And the husband would go and confess that every fucking Sunday and say that, like, oh, well, you know, Jesus forgives. So, I mean, I know that's every human being, but like, just because you're Christian doesn't mean you're good. Doesn't mean you're a good person. I mean, I know from experience people that use their Christianity as a way to cope that they're a fucking shitty human being. Sorry.
Cap, I got another hot take for you, Cap.
Mm.
If you replace all four of those innocent young people that were shot, and you replaced them with Jesus, this shit still keeps happening. All three of these motherfuckers would have shot him.
Yo, you know what's funny? I actually would agree. Most people claim that they're the Christians, but they're more likely to be the Romans. They're more likely to be the ones that would crucify.
Actually, it was Jesus' own people that requested that the Romans execute him. The Romans did not care about Jesus. It was the religious leaders who said, well, this guy's getting too much of a following, and I'm a hater. They petitioned the Romans to execute him.
Yeah. It was, but still Romans did pull out the act. So everyone wants to claim.
But the Romans didn't care. They just wanted to nail people to wood. Hey, you giving me another person to nail?
That's not exactly his story.
Man, we like nailing. Hey, man. We have a lot of fun nailing people to wood.
Okay.
If you give me somebody, hey, do you want Barabbas to get nailed to this wood? Or do you want Jesus to be nailed to this wood?
True.
And what just confirmed what you said, man.
Listen, I've seen it firsthand, man. I've seen some people that would do some really vile shit and then would use that religion as a means to kind of sleep at night because God forgives, which is funny. I'm not trying to get super religious here, but I don't think people understand that in the Bible, yes, there is forgiveness, but if you keep having mortal sins, it doesn't mean you're forgiven. Like, you're going to go to hell, right? Like, there's going to be means of punishment. It's not like a fucking get out of jail free card for the rest of your life. Like, oh yeah, I just popped fucking 20 caps in a person and fucking killed like 20 people. But I went to church and God said I'm good. Like, that's not how that works. You know, it's not really how that works. You have to really you have to really in your soul be apologetic.
Yeah, I'm tired of people, Cap. I mean, that's what it boils down to, man.
Yeah,
I love people, but I am tired. I'm
dude.
tired, Cap.
This is why I like the hockey streaks, man. It's less saddening, less depressing. It's just like, yo,
Hey, I'm not gonna go that. I'm not gonna go that far. I've seen too many 3-on-1
yo,
I mean,
yo. Listen,
I've seen too many breakaways. Okay, in my time, too many breakaways.
your Rangers, won. Relax, relax.
And there's a reason why I saved this comment. I did not approach this comment because I knew I was going to come back to it once you guys learned of the third story.
Mm-hmm.
Watt says, I mean, generally they are paranoid. Not this specific guy, meaning the old man, which I think paranoia definitely, I think it definitely applies. Either that or they want to kill someone for power trip dopamine rush.
Mm.
What do you think about that, Cap? I think there was real fear on the part of the 85-year-old.
I'm
going to go out on a limb and say,
say this.
I think he has some real fear.
I think with some people, they want to live out that fucking war fantasy because they couldn't cut it and they never actually served.
What's the guy that always says, get off my lawn? The old actor?
Oh, fucking Clint Eastwood?
Clint Eastwood, man. They all want to be him. Get off my lawn.
Yeah. But
they don't understand that at the end of it, the young Hispanic kid that everybody in the country in middle America is supposed to hate, he goes and he actually goes to protect the kid.
Yeah. Well, it was growth.
In the end.
It was growth. It was a growth. It was growth. It was the character development that people don't want to talk about.
Well, I really want to see the characters of all three of these shooters matriculate into a grave as fast as possible.
Well,
they cannot get in the ground fast enough, Cap. Yes, I'm invoking the lyrics of Coheed in Cambria right here and now.
Mm.
Now get in the ground. Please get in the ground. Start shoveling the dirt on yourself and stop existing.
Mm.
I'm going to need you guys, all three of you, even the old man, which you're probably going to heed my command a lot sooner than the other two. Mm-hmm. Unfortunately, I'm going to need all three of you to stop existing. The world is a better place without your existence.
Mm.
Is that a hot take or a cold truth?
It's hot. It's a cold truth and a hot take. I don't think those people, yeah, fuck those people.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, I guess there's nothing more to be said about that. Again, shout out to Dan Jensen for supporting the platform. We're working hard, folks. We got a lot of hockey stuff going on for the playoffs. We've got Filthy Casual MMA Watch Party on the weekend. So there might actually be, depending on what games happen on Saturday, we might have a brand split where we cover MMA here on the TSP and we cover hockey on the Locker Room. So if you guys are hockey fans, we're going to need you. We're going to need you to head on over to the Locker Room. Looking for
head on over to the Locker Room at YT. I do a lot of hockey coverage. Going to be a lot of different sports coverage once I can get my goddamn artist to make the new art.
Yeah, that would be great.
We'll kind of
really sorry for the outpouring of emotion, but these things really,
I mean, dude, it's fine. It's
really anger me.
People died and one person got their life. Well, person died and multiple people got their life affected for the rest of their life. They're never going to be the same.
One of the cheerleaders might still die.
Yeah, she's in critical condition. That's true. I hope not. Hopefully prayers to her and her family. I hope they pull through. And that's the most important thing we probably should end on is that, hopefully that the families affected can kind of find some type of solace in this. I don't know, man.
Yeah, I can't
Whereas,
even. That would be disrespectful.
Yeah.
For me to even wish that with the massive loss.
Yeah.
And the trauma. And remember, it's not just the families; it's everybody that was on the motorcycle in the vehicles.
Yep.
That even if you survive, or dude, like I don't. And we're not talking about lazy, good for nothing people, Cap.
Yeah.
Two honor students, and some elite cheerleaders.
Yeah.
People who are bringing actual joy and substance to the world.
Yep.
The guy that shot the cheerleaders, does he look like somebody that is a productive citizen?
Nope. He looks like a piece of shit.
If you're an 84-year-old that shoots first and speaks second, what are you bringing to society? You're a burden.
Yep. So
if you're shooting at people who are lost, what value are you to society?
None.
Dan Jentz is always helping us with the housekeeping. And in the spirit of that housekeeping, you guys know that we're not afraid to cover any topic. So if there's a particular topic that you feel needs to be discussed, talkingshitpodcastllc@gmail.com. Do you know how you know that this email works, Cap? Because our guy, Dan Jensen, sends us emails all the time. Do you know the last email he sent to us, Cap?
It was about the not being live.
Yeah, he was like, yo, there was an MMA event going on, and where the fuck are you? I need you to cover this topic. It's called MMA. I need you to do it live. So Dan Jensen always keeps us on our toes. He uses the email. Guys, use the email address, talkingshitpodcastllc@gmail.com. We are also going to be taking on offers for any products if you're a business owner.
Mm-hmm.
If there's a product that you would like us to hawk for you, we've already kind of entered into very preliminary negotiations with one company a couple months ago.
Mm-hmm.
So really, all business inquiries and topics that you want us to cover, talkingshitpodcastllc@gmail.com. We're on social media. You guys will notice that we're not on Facebook. Apparently, your hockey stream, Cap, they said that it violated their community guidelines. Maybe Mark Zuckerberg hates hockey.
How did it? What?
Yeah. Not last night, but the night before. So
I didn't even say anything spicy. What?
Yeah, when I went to go do the live stream last night for the Rangers game, they were like, nope, we're not allowing you to go live on Facebook. Facebook is a piece of shit anyway. They're going down. They're the next MySpace, so they don't really care that much. But yeah, if you're not watching on YouTube right now, please, youtube.com/@TALKINSHIT. The Patreon. I know we said a lot of low T type. Well, I said a lot of low T type shit because it needed to be said. But if you really want the fucking raw dog truth, patreon.com/TALKIN_SH_T. And just like our dear friend Dan Jensen says, please, on your way out, help us out in the algorithm because we say a lot of spicy things that sends us to the shadow realm, like these assholes that pull guns on people who make innocent mistakes. Thank you once again for joining us. I'm Dr. Evil. That's Captain Paul. We'll see you on the next one.